An eerie silence blanketed the upscale neighborhoods of Toronto as police convoys lined the quiet streets. Officers moved with precision, prepared to execute one of the most extensive organized crime crackdowns the city had ever witnessed. Dubbed Project Sindacato, the operation was a collaboration between Canadian and Italian law enforcement, targeting a powerful criminal network that had deeply infiltrated Toronto's business sector. This was no ordinary police raid. The Figliomeni crime family, a formidable faction of Italy's notorious Ndrangheta, had operated in Canada for years with impunity. Their influence extended beyond borders, facilitating an empire built on illegal gambling, money laundering, drug trafficking, and extortion. But on this April morning, authorities launched a decisive operation to sever the roots of organized crime in Toronto. The Ndrangheta's expansion into Canada. Unlike other global criminal organizations, the Ndrangheta maintained a hierarchical structure that stretched from Toronto to Calabria, Italy. Canadian members remained loyal to their Italian bosses, ensuring the network's seamless operation across continents. This structure allowed the criminal empire to function with minimal disruption, as orders flowed down from Calabria to their operatives in Canada. Through this structure, the Figliomeni crime family flourished, embedding itself into Toronto's legitimate businesses to launder millions of dollars in illicit profits. Investigators discovered that the group had a vast network of enterprises, including casinos, restaurants, construction firms, and luxury real estate, which were used to launder money and mass criminal activity. These businesses not only funneled dirty cash into the economy, but also allowed the crime family to establish strong ties with influential figures in various industries. Through Project Sindacato, a large-scale, multi-year investigation, police uncovered one of the most sophisticated money laundering schemes in Canadian history, revealing the astonishing extent of the Ndrangheta's grip on the country's financial ecosystem. Illegal gambling and loan sharking, the family's bread and butter. One of the primary revenue streams for the Figliomeni crime family was underground gambling dens. Throughout Toronto, dozens of secret casinos and poker rooms operated under the protection of the mob, attracting high-rolling clients who were often unaware of the criminal elements behind the operations. These illicit establishments became hotspots for organized crime activity, providing a steady flow of cash that was nearly impossible to trace. Many high-stakes gamblers, enticed by the allure of easy money, soon found themselves trapped in insurmountable debt. Loan sharking was the next step. Borrowers who couldn't pay back their debts faced exorbitant interest rates, sometimes as high as 180% annually, turning a small loan into a life-altering burden. Those who defaulted were met with intimidation, threats, and in some cases, acts of violence, ensuring that the fear of retribution kept payments flowing. Extortion was another layer of control, as businesses in the Italian-Canadian community were forced to pay protection fees to avoid retaliation, a tactic deeply rooted in Mafia tradition. Additionally, the cocaine trade played a significant role in the family's financial empire. Police surveillance uncovered a lucrative drug pipeline that transported cocaine from South America to Canada, often rerouted through Italy to evade detection, generating millions in illicit profits. The Mafia's hold on Canada's financial institutions. Perhaps the most shocking revelation in Project Sindacato was the Figliomeni family's deep ties to major Canadian banks. Through corrupt insiders, the mob laundered money through two of the country's largest financial institutions, Toronto Dominion Bank and the Royal Bank of Canada. Wiretaps revealed conversations between mobsters and bank employees who facilitated fraudulent transactions, creating fake charity receipts and disguising illicit funds as legitimate business revenue. This intricate process allowed millions of dollars to flow undetected through the banking system, demonstrating a severe vulnerability in Canada's financial oversight. In one intercepted call, an RBC manager assured Angelo Figliomeni, the family's leader, that his funds were being safely moved through the system, showing the brazenness of financial corruption. Beyond banking, the family used Toronto's booming real estate market to launder millions. Expensive homes were purchased, held, and resold at inflated prices, effectively cleaning illicit money through seemingly legitimate transactions. Investigators estimated that over $70 million in dirty money had been funneled through real estate transactions alone. By the time law enforcement caught up, the Figliomeni family had amassed an empire of wealth, reinforcing how the Ndrangheta had deeply entrenched itself within Canada's financial institutions. From murders to mafia wars, the violent side of the organization. While the Figliomeni family was largely known for its financial crimes, violence remained an essential tool for maintaining power. A 2015 double homicide at Mocha Cafe, an illegal gambling den in Woodbridge, was directly linked to the mob. 2 men were gunned down, while 2 others were critically injured in a dispute tied to the criminal underworld, underscoring the deadly nature of organized crime rivalries. In 2017, another high-profile shooting targeted Mark Petz, a known associate of the mob, in what authorities believed was a power struggle between competing factions. Surveillance of gambling-related violence in Vaughan prompted authorities to dedicate an organized crime task force to investigate the family's activities. The shootings, arson attacks, and acts of intimidation all pointed back to a single source, Angelo Figliomeni and his criminal network. Law enforcement knew they had to take action before the violence escalated further. Reports also suggested that tensions were rising between the Figliomeni family and rival criminal organizations, including factions of the Hells Angels and other mafia clans, making it clear that without intervention, a full-scale mafia war could erupt on Canadian soil. Project Sindacato, the largest mafia crackdown in Ontario's history. Project Sindacato marked the largest mafia crackdown in Ontario's history, culminating in 48 search warrants executed across the Greater Toronto Area and the arrest of 15 key figures, including Angelo Figliomeni. This unprecedented operation was carried out with the coordination of over 500 officers, demonstrating the gravity of the case. Law enforcement seized $35 million in assets, including 27 luxury homes, 5 Ferraris, millions in cash and gold jewelry such as Rolex watches. Additionally, they confiscated high-end luxury goods like champagne, perfumes, and designer clothing, all of which reflected the mob's extravagant lifestyle. Simultaneously, Italian authorities launched Operation Canadian Connection, leading to 14 more arrests, further underscoring the global scale of the investigation. The crackdown not only dismantled a powerful criminal empire, but also exposed the intricate methods through which the Ndrangheta had infiltrated Canada's financial and economic infrastructure. The operation was seen as a landmark victory against organized crime, but its impact would soon be overshadowed by legal setbacks. Legal fallout and the collapse of the case. Despite the overwhelming evidence collected during Project Sindacato, Canada's legal system struggled to hold the Figliomeni family accountable. Due to a breach of solicitor-client privilege, several charges were stayed in court, including those against Angelo Figliomeni. By 2021, most of the major figures involved in the case had their charges dropped, and over $35 million in seized assets were returned to the accused. Legal experts pointed to Canada's lack of a dedicated mafia association law, similar to those in Italy, as a major barrier to prosecuting organized crime effectively. In Italy, Ndrangheta members face up to 20-year sentences, but in Canada, the absence of such legislation made it difficult to hold criminals accountable. The Figliomeni family's legacy in Canada. Although Project Sindacato disrupted the Figliomeni family's operations, the larger problem of organized crime in Canada remains unsolved. Experts estimate that Canada continues to be a key hub for international money laundering, with criminal organizations exploiting the country's financial loopholes. The downfall of the Figliomeni crime family may have exposed the depth of mafia influence in Canada, but it also revealed the weaknesses in the nation's legal system. Until Canada enacts stronger anti-mafia laws, groups like the Ndrangheta will continue to thrive in the shadows, weaving their operations into the legitimate economy and evading justice. While Project Sindacato was a historic crackdown, its failure in the courts serves as a cautionary tale. Without legislative reform, organized crime will always find a way to survive. That's all for today's video. If you found this deep dive into Canada's most significant mafia crackdown fascinating, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth crime investigations. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think law enforcement is doing enough to combat organized crime? Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.